Stress was to walk up to Main Street Station, wait for the train to come in. He'd walk up to the cab crew, talk to the engineer and say, dude, you're going on break. He would come up and take that very seat and then drive the train around the park for a lap or two. And that was his way to just forget about everything else and unwind, because he loved the train so much. We have pictures of him in that very seat in our archives. And then there was a gentleman who was standing on those steps looking out, and that was Mr. Fred Gurley, who this cab is named for. And he was the active president at the time of the Santa Fe Railroad. During that era, if you will. So it's a very cool place to be.
Very.
I remember seeing pictures of Walt in this seat holding the Mickey. Whereas you see the other picture of him sticking his head out the window with the station behind.
As the fireman, absolutely. And it's always a crew of two up here. In the left seat is a fireman who's regulating the intensity of the campfire that's inside the firebox to remain on temperature and pressure. And then it's the engineer, and also to make sure that we have the right amount of water inside the boiler at all times. That's absolutely critical. If we don't do that, well, we don't have a job. So there you go. That's the fireman's side. The engineer is simply taking the pressure that the fireman builds up and using that pressure to propel the locomotive around the park.
And it's vegetable oil now?
It is. Soybean. We switched from diesel to fuel oil to soybean oil. We first began burning the soybean oil, but we found out very quickly that that soybean oil was fouling up the fuel plumbing lines. And it was really tough for us to stay on temperature and pressure. So eventually we began using the cooking oils. And the cooking oils that we're using today are all the used cooking oil from the restaurants resort-wide. Now, dear, if you'll take a still shot of this, you're going to notice here where it says SF and DRR. That's the original speedometer, where it's Santa Fe and Disneyland Railroad.
Wow, that's so cool.
And essentially the layout of this cab, as is with all this plumbing, is pretty much the same as it was when it rolled off the line in 1894. Some changes, a little bit of differences in the plumbing, but not by much. This is just the way it would have been way back in the day.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, what's the difference between 5 different engines? Any major?
Not much. No, it's minor changes in the cab layout and the plumbing, where the valves are located.
Because number 1 was a scale model built, wasn't it? It wasn't an actual.
Numbers 1 and 2
1 and 2
are scratch built 5/8 scale replicas of an American classic locomotive, prototypical from probably the 1840s or 50s through the late 1880s.
Okay.
There you
Making
go.
sure I get in on it.
And then this is the view outside the fireman's seat, looking ahead at the tracks with a red light in the distance. Until that red light goes green a year from now, I'm not able to move my locomotive. It's a sad thing, but it's also very cool for us to be able to have you come up here and share the experience of what it's like to be in the cab and what the equipment is like. So I'm going to give that back to you. Make sure that you get a shot looking out the front window on the driver's side. You'll never have an opportunity to get that again, unless you show up at the park, of course, within the year. But this is such a rare opportunity.
Now, what about 1, 3, or 1, 2, and 4 that have a 10?
That's correct. Well, that have a cab square as the Disneyland
Whereas this one has the micro tender that doesn't have.
It's a tender that's attached to the frame of the locomotive. Number 5 has the same configuration as such. They're known as a Forney style, with a tender attached to the frame of the loco. Whereas with 1, 2, and 4, they have a detached tender that's pulled along behind the cab of the locomotive via a drawbar.
How some of them have the long tender versus some have the short.
Have the shorter tender, right? It's just different configurations.
Just different models of a long distance train versus short distance.
That might be one of them. Excuse me. And keep in mind you are in number 3, oldest in the fleet. Built in 1894, followed by number 3, which was built in 1902.
No, this is number 3.
25.
This is number
This is 3. That's correct. 1894.
Join our march down Main Street, USA, as together we celebrate America.
Karen.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
You bet.